Well, it's my pleasure to welcome Mr. Charles Braithwait to our luncheon today. Charles Braithwait, a genuine community action hero. Community action has been his life's work. He's a charter CCAP, now CCAP Emeritus, and he has risked everything for community action. He was founder of Missouri's West Central, the community action agency in his hometown. Also one of the founders and past board chair of this organization, the Partnership. A founder and past board chair of NCAF. A founder of his state's Directors Association. A founder of his state's Community Action Association. And he also took on 2 presidents who wanted community action ended. He risked everything for community action in 1973. He sued President of the United States to force President Nixon to release the funds he had impounded which were appropriated for community action agencies. Long story, but in the end, the suit was won, funds were released, and the community action movement was saved. He risked everything for community action again in 1981. He helped organize the effort to counter President Reagan's stated desire to end community action in favor of block grants to the states. Another long story, but in the end, not only did community action continue, community action had its own block grant. In community action, he would be known as a 6-decade man. 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, aughts, and teens. And from his contributions to community action in any one of those 6 decades, he is worthy of the title Community Action Hero. Mr. Braithwait, welcome to the luncheon.
Thank you, Charles. You're very, very kind.
I held back.
And I appreciate it.
Today I would like to first welcome and honor the CCAP individuals and the program that we're going to speak about for a few moments. And I want right now to applaud and give you the honor that you deserve for completing this program and what it might mean for you, but more importantly, what it would mean for community action. I'd like to recognize the board of the partnership. I've had many good friends there, and you continue to do a great job, so I support you in your efforts there. I would like to recognize Tom Tenorio and his effort in regard to this particular commission, which he is chairman of, for CCAP. So it all fits together when you begin to look at the accomplishments that's been done by CCAP and, of course, by the partnership program. And I want to thank you for the opportunity of being here with you today in this capacity. And I hope that you will enjoy being a CCAP for many years to come. We have experienced many, many difficulties. I would like to speak to some of that, plus, of course, the future. In the past, we have had PR problems, we have had presidential problems, and Mr. McCann spoke of the one that was fairly important. That's when we, and I hope that that's understood, this is not me, this is we, in regard to suing the President of the United States and his administration in regard to attempting to cancel our programs in the middle of a funded year. When the President Nixon, decided that the program should come to an end, we received a telegram through the regional offices that we were to shut down this total program within 30 days. Can you imagine that? Shut down all that we've done in 30 days. We were successful, as Charles said, and it was very, very important because it was a time when it could have gone the other way and we would totally be not be here today. You will find that there are going to be problems for this generation also. And that's going to be Congress, which we don't understand at the present time, very, very conservative. And I have proposed, used to go around to a lot of Rotary clubs. And of course, those are members who own businesses and are the older group, if you would. And I would speak to them in regard to how conservative our program is. And of course, one of the main things that's in our program is self-sufficiency. And I would lean heavy on the fact that it's better to pay taxes instead of draw taxes. So these are the kinds of things that we experienced in the past, and you're going to continue to experience in the future with such a conservative Congress. Another, of course, is the president. We don't know who that will be in 2016, but it's very, very possible that that individual might not necessarily support our programs. So we have to keep alert. We have to, as I used to say, sit on the edge of our seat in regard to working with the president's administration and of Congress together. Now, one thing that I wanted to be sure that we talked about today is you as a CCAP individual, both current and one that's tenured, is the moving or progressing community action to another higher level. And I think it's important to realize that you as leaders of the Community Action Program will have a great responsibility in regard to this. And in so doing, I challenge you to go to the next level of community action. And that's what I want to talk about today. Number one, community action could be a local coalition to eliminate poverty. You have a board of directors who is a third. I know you know many executive directors yourself, and you may be one, but community action could be the core. It could be the seed whereby a larger coalition could be put together in that community. Number two, community action could be a way for local citizens to work together in improving and emphasizing the lives of others or of all the people in the community. We should be in the process of building bridges. And we've used that phrase a lot. It's been used politically and all kinds of things, but it is important that we be able to bridge the gap, and believe me, there is a gap between low income and the rest of the community. If we could build these bridges for the low income individuals, then they would be able to enrich their lives, they'd be able to be self-sufficient, and this thing we sometimes forget, that it would help the total community. And that's really what all this is all about, is not just low income. We're bigger and better than that. And we want to see the coalition and the come together and the building of bridges to cause these good things to happen. And it can. It's not impossible. It can. Now, some agencies, I'll give them credit, very few, but some agencies have built these bridges, and others have coalesced in regard to coalition. But there is a need for that to happen over the whole 1,000 community action agencies across the United States. And what I'm trying to say there is that there's more to this than just programs themselves. We should go to the next level where, yes, we have these programs, and yes, we are legally and morally responsible for carrying them out in the proper manner. But I suggest that we use these programs to then bridge into some of the more larger things that I've said here philosophically, and I think for the total community. And then I would challenge you, individually and collectively, to take community action to the next level. And in return for that, you are leaders. You have been trained, you have developed, you have the passion in order to be a leader. And as a leader in community action, I think then it becomes your responsibility to give more and to take on the responsibility, whatever it might be, not necessarily the executive director, but whatever position that there might be need for in the community where we could begin to build the bridges, have the communication, and have the coalitions together that would put us to this higher level. And in closing, I would like to say, which one of you will stand up, raise your hand, and say, "I'll do that"? Thank you very much.